Hi, I'm Q, and I play Vox Windbler. Vox is a half-elf fighter and assassin rogue. She was born and lived most of her life in Asparia at the end of the Salt Valley. Her parents are Ava Windbler, who knew Perrin when they both lived in the Feywilds, and Turan Windbler. Ava's half-brother Balak murdered Turan, imprisoned Ava, and controlled Vox's uncle Theon. This results in Vox being thrust into chaos instead of the peace she had known. She eventually finds love with Riviana Brighthand, the captain of the Royal Guard, before Balak frames Vox for murdering the king of the Salt Valley, and manipulates circumstances to cause her to travel to the Dreadspire, leaving behind everything she knew. Now she travels the world with her found family, her talking sword Brightburn, to create a better future for those she loves.
Howdy, my name is Sean, and I play Atticus Phoenix. Atticus is a human fighter with a champion/homebrewed mage slayer archetype. Atticus hails from one of the oldest royal houses in Nymeria, the House of the Phoenix, which is nestled deep within the South Green, but has been wandering the continent for some time as a knight, pledging his sword to upkeep the memory of his family and to protect the people of the land. He is haunted by an ancient entity known as the Darkness, which has cursed him and his entire family with a plague that has left him and a few others as the last of their name. Atticus is the father of Atlas, his long-lost son, best friend to Cletus the Grand of the Hill Giants, former partner of Burgent Fellhammer, and designated leader of the party.
My name is Tyler James, and I play Perrin Meliamne. Perrin is a wood elf, bard, and ranger. Perrin was born on the Golden Shores to fulfill a lost prophecy before he was transported to the Feywild to escape the land's destruction. There he was raised by a figure half forgotten to all Nymeria, and eventually traveled the land under the control of Balak Morgrasp, while learning to be a conman and wanderer. He seeks to find peace between the necessity of violence in a cruel world and his deep love of life in all its complexity. Perrin is the adoptive father of Fauna, a pledged squire of Atticus Phoenix, keeper of the Door Realm Key, companion of Amos the Mockingbird, and wielder of the Ornament of Rights.
My name is Aaliyah, and I play Fauna. She is a witch raised in the Evewood Coven that was recently wiped out by the Night Guard. Although Perrin is the closest thing she currently has to a father, her real parentage is still a mystery, as are the horns, which seem to be some kind of curse. She has a black cat familiar who is her best friend and constant companion, and has now found a new family in the ragtag party she has joined up with on this adventure.
My name is June, and I play Nyxloon, a shadow elf, divine sorcerer, and rogue assassin with our shared pronouns of she/they. The last remaining heir to the Nightlands and prime of the Court of Night, Nyx was secreted into Enchanted Locket to survive an ancient war, where they were soon lost to time and the whims of their Loonstone's wielder. From close friend and confidant of the Queen, to gauche pawn and ruthless assassin for the Speakers, Nyx was passed from many hands throughout history, and changed much of it. Now freed from the Loonstone's control, Nyx has only 3 goals: repay their life debt to Atticus Phoenix, protect their godson, Perrin Meliamne, and reclaim what was stolen from them in memory, identity, and homeland.
Previously on Castle Run, after tracking down a curse-afflicted Fauna, the party found themselves in the belly of an ancient colossus known as the Yassin-Oth. Inside this massive earth serpent, the party discovered a hive mind civilization that had millennia ago left the surface of Nymeria to dwell within the Titan. They were introduced to the artificer, Yorge, who, having recently departed Novolor, was privy to a ritual that could potentially separate the soul of Atlas, son of Atticus Phoenix, from the body of Bert. This ritual would need to take place at Phoenix Manor, and thanks to Atticus's connection to the Yassin-Oth as a guardian of the Unbroken Green, the party was delivered to the edges of this sacred expanse. With several days' journey ahead of them before reaching Phoenix Manor, the party sets out across the Unbroken Green, and Atticus finds himself closer to home than he has been in decades. We are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Castle Run. I am your DM, Elijah Goodall, pronouns they, them. And now that we have the session recap built into the beginning, we're just going to get right into our session. Having just... we're coming into it waking up, essentially, so everyone, you have had a long rest. You are here not more than an hour or two past the border of the Unbroken Green. And Atticus, as you wake up, tell me, we've never really gotten little glimpses into the characters before like this. How does Atticus sleep when you make camp in the wild?
Atticus sleeps on his sleeping bag with his sword like this. But when he's asleep, he goes. He has a really adorable snore.
Lovely.
If his mustache was there right now, his mustache would be going up and down as he did that. He's sleeping peacefully but ready to attack if needed.
As an early riser, many a time Bert has sat there and just sort of watched that mustache go up and down. Atticus, when you awake this morning on the beautiful ground of the Unbroken Green, you feel different. And you realize pretty quickly why you feel different. Because in addition to your sword, you are holding a massive 6.5-foot tower shield emblazoned with the crest of your mother. The bright hand symbol of Athena before she was wed to your father Atticus.
Atticus tries to sit up, but he's like, why is it a little heavier? And then he looks down and he's like, holy shit. Nix, Fano, wake up right now. The well man was real. The well man was real.
What? I got it so early.
And Atticus is just bolstering his giant shield. He's like, tell me your dream. You had the same dream as me. Because look at this shit. And he's flexing it and
Well, and peaches and holy fuck.
Whoa, wait, how come I didn't get anything?
Did you?
Oh right, I rolled a nat 1. That was
you do smell
check for a peach.
Aaliyah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Check your pockets for a peach.
I'm just covered in peach guts still.
Buddy, you're not covered in peach guts.
Oh good.
But even without a perception check, there is a lingering smell of peaches surrounding kind of your bedroll and the area where you slept.
I guess that's not bad. That's nice.
No, it's fine.
bad at
Just
all.
you guys decided to wake up, so go ahead and make a bunch of noise and wake everybody else up. I wasn't sleeping or nothing.
Oh right, you're here.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely still here. I'm for sure here on purpose, definitely because I want to be here.
Lucky you.
Bert is going to kind of sidle up to you, George. Well, I'm glad you're here. The more the merrier. Atticus, where'd you get that enormous shield?
I don't know, bud. I had a dream that I was at the well outside of Phoenix Manor, and I jumped into the well because I was like, this entity is very hungry. Maybe since I know I'm in a dream, he would like not a fun-size snack, but a whole meal. So I jumped in, and we got to talking. And oh wait, I think Nix, what name did you give this entity? Issa, what's up? Are you in this shield? Hello? Hi.
Did we all drink last night and I forgot about it? What the fuck is happening?
Baron, as you say this, much like Brightburn, I suppose you're all welcoming another talking item to the party as the shield speaks out, its mouth invisible, but its voice resonating in the air nonetheless.
Sire, it is good to be here with you in this place. Tell me,
Oh, we're gonna make so many stories
how
together.
can I serve you best?
Well, seeing as you are entombed or infused with the shield of my mother, what Mama would want is for you not to be a shield only for me, but for all these lovely fine folk you see here.
A shield for your party, Sir Atticus. I shall be.
Atticus does a cool pose with the shield and the sword.
Yeah.
So just visually, he has this giant tower shield now and this giant sword, and you're like, damn, Atticus is strong as hell. Like he is wielding both at the same time.
Perrin turns and walks away a little bit because he can't handle how cool Atticus looks, and he's like, "Fuck, I miss
jelly?
Stooley so bad." Yeah, in Perrin's mind, when he had Stooley, he looked that cool. Fuck.
Atticus, I don't know if we talked about the specs of this. Did we talk about last time what the tower shield gives you? Okay.
We did not know.
I'll give it to you real quick, but I'm going to send it to you. It's probably not going to be necessary for this session, but just so you know, wielding the tower shield gives you another +2 to your armor class, which is wild, given how high it already is with that magical full plate. On top of that, with the tower shield, don't quote me, but I believe the rules when it comes to our tower shield is that you can, it might be if you take the dodge action on your turn, or you might actually get to do it as a bonus action, but you can take full cover behind your shield during a fight. In addition to that, this thing is so big that I'm going to say if you're willing to only take half cover, you can also, you can offer half cover to someone else, or you can take no cover and offer full cover to someone that you are within 5 feet of. Basically, you have one full, 100% cover to split 50-50 or entirely someone else or entirely yourself. But I'll need to look up and see if you have to take the dodge as a full action or if it's a bonus action or what it is with tower shields. And if I can't find it, then we'll invent new rules for it.
So Atticus gets bonus AC and can provide cover, or it's only if he's using it for cover?
I think you always get the bonus AC. You always get the +2 with the shield.
So you can get up to +7 basically if you're in 3/4 cover.
Well, I think if you have full cover, God, I don't know. Don't quote me. Yeah, I'll look up the cover rules later. We should have gotten into the nitty-gritty of that. But however, Atticus, because before you've been able to wield your enormous sword with 2 hands, when you have the tower shield, you can only wield it with 1 hand. So if you have both the shield and the sword, your sword, the damage goes down 1 dice category. So what dice do you how many do you roll right now for this huge great sword?
I roll I believe 3d8.
3d8. So it will go down to 2d8 when you're wielding the tower shield.
Okay.
You can drop the shield as an action, or rather, I think you might actually be able to drop it. I'm actually going to say you can drop the tower shield as a free action. It's just an action to pick it up and have it re-equipped.
Okay.
Does Atticus have to be holding it to shield someone else, or when he drops it, is it planting it.
Oh, I
like,
mean,
in
if
the ground
you could,
and someone can
yeah,
be
I'm gonna
behind
say
it.
you could, if you wanted to, take an action to plant it as like a thing in the field too, if someone else wanted to take cover behind it.
Yeah.
Regardless,
Cool.
you're striking this pose, Atticus, and Bert has got like heart eyes looking. He's just so enthralled right now. Yeah.
So are shared dreams or shared hallucinations common in this area, or were we all sleepwalking? Did that actually happen? Maybe I shouldn't ask questions like this.
I mean, it's really only happened with this party. I mean, for mine and Cleta's sakes, I hope we haven't shared dreams because adolescence is a crazy time, you know?
Hey, man, we'd be even. We'd be even. I'm sure.
Yeah, I've only really, but confirmed shared dreams for sure only with this party. But, you know, this Unbroken Green is a deeply magical place. I wouldn't be surprised.
Getting that.
I've heard crazier things happening out in these parts.
Anyone that wants to right now is welcome to give me a perception check. Or an arcana check. Either one.
Just an 11.
I got 22 Arcana.
Ooh,
I nat one. Perrin is tangled up in the hammock that he always sleeps in, which does not, because we've never been in a forest really, he's just sleeping in the ground like a deflated banana wrapped up in the hammock.
Oh, lovely. You said you got a 22 on Arcana, Fauna? Fauna? 22? Okay, cool. Oh, you might be muted.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I said
No, it's
yeah,
okay.
but maybe I...
I think you were muted. Fauna, on your 22, you felt it since you set foot on it, and the more immediate problem for you being the curse and is it going to come back, you do feel something stirring inside you that you've never really felt before. But in this place, it's not your home. It's not the Evewood. So it's not necessarily your place of power. It is deeply, deeply magical here in a way that you have not felt in any other place ever. And while the magic feels unfamiliar and wild, it is incredibly potent nonetheless. Yeah, that's what you get on a 22.
Does it feel... I know it's, like you said, it's not like my place or like my magic, but does it feel like it's strong enough that I could channel it in any way that wouldn't be something that I could normally do?
Ooh.
Or like
on a 20
or like augment
yeah.
or there's any like
on
like
a 22,
thing that I could draw from it.
You feel as you push into that, like you flex into that energy a little bit. It's not quite what you would call maybe a consciousness, and that could very well be because it's something beyond consciousness, but it almost seems that there is some sentient force behind this magic, and as if it's the land itself. And you feel that it would be less can you channel this power, and more as a witch, how good of a job can you do asking for permission? In addition, on your 22, as you're reaching out into the land, Fauna, you, not that far off
in fact just a few 100 feet right over the little rise of a hill, you feel little paws running over the grass. And the rest of you, like, within a few seconds, you see the little black head of the cat pop up above the rise nearest to and come and, like, at that little, like, almost like the what is that cute little, like, canter step that cats do when they're not quite right? Like, they don't want to run because they're too cool for that, but they are definitely walking, like, he's going fast.
The hungry trot.
Yeah, the hungry trot. Immediately comes up and just starts
swings
winding around your legs. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, you're back. You're back.
What? Fauna's gonna scoop him up. Where have you been?
I mean, here. You left and you were completely feral. I followed you at a distance. I like in and out of shadow, which is something I didn't know I could do. Did you know I could do that? I can walk into a shadow and then I can come out in another shadow that's not next to that shadow.
I mean, I didn't know that, but maybe you couldn't do it before. There's some crazy magic happening there.
Okay.
Are you
so
talking to that
sorry.
cat like you can understand it? What are you doing?
Oh yeah,
Responded to the cat.
this is my cat. Cat, this is yours.
It's talking to you?
Pleased to meet you, I'm sure. Do we like
It's my familiar.
Do we like this
Weird,
guy?
weird motherfuckers. All of you. Every single one of you. Weird motherfucker.
Oh.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm a witch. Did you not know I'm a witch? Do I have a familiar? It's kind of the thing that witches have.
Yeah. It's like a regular thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
This is
have
totally
that doesn't
normal.
mean just have a normal conversation with one. That's a little different.
I can't.
Never. Don't mind me.
You know, sometimes I wish I could just talk to everyone.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever want me to relay anything that you're saying, just let me know.
I just, you know, give him the eye.
Fauna
That's great.
does
No,
it,
that's great.
does
That's
her
great.
best
Oh my gosh, I missed you so much.
to give yours a look.
What do you want?
No, don't worry about it.
Thick
Cool. Don't mind me.
Thick as a brick wall, this guy.
Hey, gang, should we get a move on? I mean, Phoenix Manor is not far from here. We're very, very close. We should probably pack up and start hitting the trail, which is funny because we're in the Unbroken Green. There are no trails, but
Oh my gosh, Fauna, I forgot.
Yeah, what?
And the cat hops down from your arms and like scampers away about 10 feet and then turns around to look at you. Come on, tell everyone to come. Follow me. You're gonna want to see this.
The cat says we should go this way. So I'm going this way.
all right, I guess.
Is that way
Bert-
heading towards Phoenix Manor as well?
I don't know where Phoenix is.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Phoenix Manor, but they're gonna want to see this.
The cat says that you're going to want to see this.
And we were just inside a giant worm, so might as well
First
just
time
follow
for
the cat.
Seems better than inside a giant worm.
the least weird thing to happen in the Unbroken Green. You know, that's every day. There are giant things everywhere here. And Atticus is gonna like scoop up their stuff and pack it up and then follow along.
You all start following the cat over rise and hill here and there as bird song echoes out across the Unbroken Green. Takes about 10 minutes to get to this one particular hill that kind of has a steep climb to it. And as the party reaches the top, the cat kind of waiting impatiently and then running ahead a little bit and then waiting, its tail swishing back and forth in the grass. As you all reach the top, you look down. Beneath you, the camp spread out for several hundred feet in all directions. You see a group, first guess, at least 50 to 60 of the Athga, or the hill giants. Cletus people you see spread out in this camp, and Atticus, you in particular, see flying high a banner with the Legrand crest on it.
Oh shit, Cletus, I guess we didn't have to go to your town after all.
It is awfully convenient. I'll
It's a really convenient pacing.
What are they do? Well, I don't.
It's almost like we were meant to find them.
It's almost, you would almost say. You know, I
Good
don't
job,
want to
Kat. You
wax
did
too.
good.
Yeah, thanks. I did a pretty good
No,
job.
this was
I
your
thought
idea,
that you would
Kat.
all
Also,
be
Amos,
excited.
how are you? And Cletus, tell us more about your people. It's okay, Amos. You can keep singing.
I feel like you're really kind of starting a lot of conversation all at once. Like there's a lot of irons in the fire, apparent. If you just want to focus up, maybe.
Oh, that's cool. I won't talk to you.
Well, that's not what I meant. I'll be honest, and Cletus looks at you, Atticus. I haven't seen my family in a long time. I'd very much like to get down there.
Atticus stares deeply into Cletus's eyes, then puts a hand on his shoulder and go, "Hey, me too, bud."
Okay. Cletus starts almost running down the hill.
Atticus walks
Towards
down
the
with his
camp.
arms up and he goes, "Daddy Addie's home, Legrand family. What's up?"
Regular Meet the Parents. Fauna, you ready?
In answer to
Talking
this,
about?
all of you see several of the hill giant. You know, you're still a ways off, but several of them turn to look, bid and I think all of you, other than Atticus, if this is your first time meeting hill giant, which it certainly would be for Fauna and Vox, and most likely Nyx, but this is your first time meeting other hill giants. Other than that, what you would see that Cletus is indeed small for a hill giant. Most of these figures are anywhere from 10 to 12 feet tall. Again, that some of them, their skin a darker green than Cletus, but all green-skinned. Out of one of the tents, you see a smaller hill giant, closer to Cletus's size, about almost pushing 8 feet. A figure with short, dark, curling hair and dark green skin. A long, flowing, white kind of off-shoulder cape behind them. And a little bit more solemn than you've ever seen Cletus be. Steps out of the tent, sees you all, begins to walk towards you, and as Cletus is actively running down your hill, you see that their eyes fall on Cletus, and they stop, cold. Atticus, you would recognize this as Cletus's younger sister, Regina Legrand. And as she stands there, Cletus is far, far ahead of the party, so you don't hear what words are exchanged, but all of you looking on do see Cletus pulls up short of her, and there's a moment of almost tension before she takes those last couple steps towards him and embraces him fully. And you see them, they are still holding each other when the party arrives down at the camp.
Atticus is going to walk up and tear them apart and like look for a barrel and roll over and put his arm down for an arm wrestling match and go, "All right, Regina, it's been a long time since I've seen you. Last time you beat the living snot out of me in an arm wrestling match. I want my revenge."
This is a lot right now. Yeah, you know what? You brought him back. You're fucking on. Give me an athletics check.
Alrighty. That is going to be a 24.
A 24, you beat a 20. Regina comes in, boom. It's absolutely the Predator handshake between Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Your arms aren't even really touching. You're just sort of hovering over top of the barrel. And after a bit of a fight, you get Regina down. She hardly even waits before leaping across the barrel and wrapping you up in a hug. You brought him back. Atticus, I don't. Thank you.
Regina, you know we're Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I mean, where I go, he goes. If I'm coming back to a LeGrand cookout, I'm bringing my buddy and your sister. You know that.
You see,
come meet my other friends too. And
give me an insight. Give me an insight check, real quick.
$11 on insight.
Okay, Regina's about to say something, but holds it back instead, and comes over for introductions to the group.
This is the one with the horns. This is Fauna. She's a sweet angel baby.
It's a pleasure.
So nice to meet
the
you.
one that looks like that's staring through your soul is Vox. They're also a sweet angel baby. Perrin has a stoic face on him, but that's Perrin. He's really funny. He's very smart too.
I see you got yourself an instrument there. You know how to play?
Oh, this lute right here? I've been known to pretend to play it a little bit.
Okay. Well, I like to hear that.
They're very talented.
Vox, am I good at it? Am I good, Vox?
I'm sure. No.
Does Nyx have their mask up right now or not?
I'm sure you're great.
Hood, yes. Masks, no.
All right. And this one that's allergic to sunlight, their name is Nyx.
Nyx. I met a few people
Pleasure to
in my
meet
time
you.
who are more than a little sun sensitive. If it's any consolation, here in the Unbroken Green, I have seen some of the most beautiful night skies that I've ever had the pleasure of seeing, so you'll have that to look forward to.
I very much look forward to enjoying it with you.
And this fella over here, George, I'm sorry, I didn't really talk to you that much.
No, that's cool. Let's all definitely be super polite to the guy who's coming along to save your friend. That's great.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be
He's a little
nice.
sensitive. It's his
Had
first
dinner last night
day
and sat
out
around
of
and
a
ate
worm in
beans.
like 2 weeks, I think. Something
Yeah,
like that.
that's fair, actually. That's a good point. I'm sorry. I'm a little testy about the worm.
Yeah, sorry about that. And this little fellow right here, well, a little complicated actually. Started as my squire, Bert. Found him in a magical castle. He used to just be a small little toad, but now he's whatever the fuck this is.
I'm a whole menagerie of things.
And within him is my son Atlas.
It's true. You know, you ever have like that weird, you got your internal monologue and then you've got that other little voice that's like
yes,
maybe about a
again.
12 or 13-year-old, and you see Bert is going to just walk up and take Regina's hand and start walking with them into the camp as he goes on to explain all the things that go on inside his head on a regular basis. And Regina, somewhat bemused, takes his hand and offers her ear. As you begin to all head into the camp.
All right, it looks like they're doing a little bit of a cookout hoedown. Any of you been to Hill Giant festivity before? Show of hands.
This is my first time, I think, properly meeting a
Yeah,
hill giant.
no,
It wasn't
definitely.
Cletus, so
I literally lived in the Evewood my whole life until I met you guys, so no.
Atticus, like, we're the only ones who've done anything for fun. Like, we're the only ones who've traveled. Nyx has traveled, but it was all just to murder people. Oh, if you're describing, like, a
it's
fun
not
event.
wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I did things for fun. It just was only in the Evewood.
That's what I said. I mean, travel first, and then fun. So, like,
I see. Okay.
experiencing culture.
Atticus is gonna lean into Perrin and go like, I know that, and it's really depressing, but I want to give them the opportunity to lie about it.
Oh, right. So the people that we know who never left their hometowns. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do that.
You never
Fox,
know.
You've been to these before, right?
Hill
Absolutely
giants.
not, no.
If hill giants are pretty nomadic, they go on pilgrimages now and then. Okay, a couple rules. First and foremost, the food here is going to be mostly plant-based, and the meat is going to look very vile, but it's very delicious. Just heads up. B, when there's dancing, the female hill giants get to choose their suitor, and you cannot say no. You better dance with them at least once. Vox, Fauna, Nyx, that applies to you as well. You have your whole run of the litter. You can choose anyone to dance with when the music
Are
starts.
They choosing, but they choose, anyone you want to choose. It's not just a
Yeah,
giant.
it's like like have you like? Well, I was going to ask everyone if they've been to a ball before, but based on the conversation we had, like men usually it's like very archaic in design, and the hill giant they've always done it this way. Anyways,
to be
and
clear,
3
also-
there is
Women can pick women to dance with, and then when the men are left behind, they can pick amongst themselves.
yeah, I mean there's no
That's how I've done
discrimination
it.
against in hill giant
Is
culture.
there having to dance? Do you have to dance? Can we opt out of the whole dancing part?
Usually
Frowned
if
upon.
you say no to a dance, then you have to freestyle wrestle against them to show dominance.
The
it's
way
just-
I did it was you had to eat a goat. Different hill giants, I guess.
Oh yeah, those are the hill giants to the west though. This is more of an eastern hill giant thing. And 3, the most important, there's going to be a lot of drinking at this thing, like a lot.
Do the dances have specific steps that we need to know, or I haven't really
Oh, yeah.
done a lot of
Um,
dancing.
Atticus swoops Perrin up and does a nice little like 2-step like country line dance with him, but Atticus is holding Perrin up to his chest, so Perrin's legs are just swinging in the air.
But even though
And
they're
then he's-
swinging in the air, you can tell that he's doing the right steps.
Yeah,
along
he
with
like
Atticus.
it feels really nice. Like Perrin is actually a very good dancing partner. And then I set him down, and then I bow, and I'm like, yeah, that's how it's done. Any questions?
Wow, that was breathtaking.
You're a great dancer. You got that nimble body
you.
that's made for a dancer.
Is the other person gonna lead? Because I'm not sure that cleared it up for me.
Yeah, they're all hill giants. They're all gonna do that same thing. You're gonna be in the air.
Fauna,
No, but I mean,
my
if I ask them to dance, do I have to lead? Because I don't know if I got the steps. just from
Cletus
watching
is
whatever
Cletus
that
is gonna
was.
lean in. It was walking like off your shoulder, Fauna. Cletus is gonna lean in. You come and ask me. I got you.
just
What?
close your
What was
eyes and
that?
feel the music.
Say it.
That's the most
Say it again
important
louder.
thing.
What, Cletus? What'd you say?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing, Karen. It's fine.
I was just saying I could teach you some steps.
Right.
A thing or two. Saying and my
You're
first
in the,
toe down.
in the,
So
in the midst of where
You'll
everyone is.
notice at the beginning of when the music starts, like they start with like easier like solo songs, so you can learn the steps and stuff, and then we'll get there. And you can ask them to lead too if you don't want to lead. But man, when that hill giant music starts, I'm bounced around like a possum in a barrel. You know what I mean? It's just good time.
Do they have possums here in the Unbroken Green?
Oh, yeah. No, well, not in the Unbroken Green, but for sure there are possums in the world. Don't ask me what they look like though. It's would truly be too wretched to describe.
They look like possums, you see, but like their teeth are coming out of every orifice on their body. It's horrifying, but they're super sweet. But there's just teeth.
That's why we put them in barrels.
That sounds like a regular possum.
You're wondering
that's
what
why-
kind of orifice it is.
I mean,
It's
that
teeth.
is a regular possum.
All of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why we put them in barrels, because they're horrifying products of our nightmares.
Yeah.
Duh.
I mean, you toss a barrel of possums at someone, they're going to be in a whole world of trouble.
That just seems
All right, well, I'm-
possums.
All right,
Back
well,
to the
let's
possums
check it out. I definitely want to go say hi to your family, Cleet, and say hi to some of the other people that I haven't seen in a while. You all good on your own? Are you good? We'll be floating around, but if you need anything, just come holler at your boy. And Atticus turns around, jumps, does a little heel click, and walks into the hoedown.
Yeah, as
Terribly
you start,
afraid I'm going to upset somebody, but yep, okay. Bye, have a fun time.
all of you notice as Atticus begins to walk towards the center of camp. Atticus paving the way for you. A lot of the hill giants at this point, you see there are probably about 60 or so gathered here. It's more than just the House of Legrand, clearly, but they have all rallied under that banner. A good number of them have now come out of their tent. And Atticus, as you begin to walk towards the center, all of you see this group of hill giants, their hand covered in some kind of thin sap. The smell of it, like even the party who's not following Atticus, a distance back, there's almost this acrid, thin, spicy note in the air. And Atticus, as you begin to walk down, in unison, all these hill giants produce a small flame. Some of them from cantrips from their own magic, others from a tinder twig lit on some article of their clothing. But each of their hand is ablaze now, Atticus. Not just representing you as a phoenix, but also perfectly mimicking the crest of your mother on the shield, as they all almost raise a hand, not high in the air, but outstretched towards you, as both a greeting and a sign of respect. This is not the first time that you've received a welcome like this, Atticus. But it has been a while.
Yeah, while this is happening, Atticus in Hill Giant says, it's been many moons since I've seen you wonderful people, and how unexpected to be reunited with my home away from home, just miles away from the manor. What an honor.
Atticus, as you kind of address the hill giants lined up to greet you, you are still making your way towards the center of camp. You see Regina step out. Atticus, he'd like to see you. He knew you were coming. Atticus, you would know that Regina is referring to her grandfather, Uru Legrand, the shaman of the Legrand house. And as
Would
you
that technically be the original Cletus too?
Not the original, because the original Cletus is like the great grandfather of Cletus. So even though hill giants live for a couple hundred years, you're still several generations since the death of your original friend Cletus, who you knew as a child.
But this was like one of my Cletus is years ago.
This yes, Uru was someone that you have known since they were a child, and you have seen them ascend to become the shaman for the Legrand House, which is a sacred role that one per generation is chosen, not just to represent the House of Legrand, but to also carry on a lot of the traditions of the Athga in general. I will also say, so because you brought up the Cletus thing, I can't remember if we've covered it in session before, but just a quick note, a particular thing about Hill Giant culture is that, hold on, the names are almost never repeated in a family. Only when an Asak or a Pathwalker is believed to have been born is the name repeated, and it just means a child who will eventually inherit the memories and lived experiences of their named ancestor. So Cletus, being the second Cletus ever in the lineage of Legrand, supposedly one day Cletus is meant to inherit the memories and experiences of the original one that you knew.
Okay, I needed that clarification because I know we talked about it, but I know it was I thought it was like a generational thing.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, Atticus is gonna head towards the tent that Uru is in and look at Cletus' sister and be like, make sure to keep my friends company and make sure their bellies are full.
Be my pleasure.
We've had a hard, long road.
I understand. We'll be breaking up camp to move through the Unbroken Green, and you know what? Our celebration will be when we set up camp again tonight. But I'll make sure before we move out that everyone's got a full belly.
Good to see you. You know, you're. I never really had a sister except you, and it's a sight for sore eyes. I'll tell you what.
Cletus has come with you, Atticus. Give me one more insight check.
$18.
On an 18, it's just for a moment, but you catch a look that Regina gives Cletus. It's not suspicion, but it is unbelief, almost, as if she had been prepared for something, and when the moment came for what she'd been prepared for, she was still not ready for it to be real. And she gives you a nod and turns away to go make sure the party gets fed. Before we get to Atticus and his reunion with Uru, what is the party up to here at the camp?
I think Perrin is going to get a drink, and he's probably grabbing one for Vox too. I think he's like, yeah, Vox is gonna want a sturdy drink.
Okay. No checks or anything necessary. You are guests of the Athga camp here. It is pretty easy for you are met with nothing but friendly faces and greetings. It's pretty easy to track down some moonshine. You see in these large vessels that seem to be woven together from some type of swamp grass maybe, and then you've noticed it has a similar smell to that sap from earlier that all the hill giants lit their hands ablaze with, and it's coated in it. You're not sure if maybe that probably helps it retain the liquid that is within it, but they're all filled with some kind of distilled alcoholic liquid. It is pretty potent.
All right, Vox, you're going to want to be really careful because you're going to want to drink a bunch of this.
Oh no, Q might be
You're
muted.
muted, Q.
Sorry, I'm just having slight
Oh,
technical
there it is.
difficulties with my mouse. Vox is just gonna take it and take a big swing. She's a little bit overwhelmed being surrounded by hell giants. It's a little too many. And Vox is gonna also just like lean into Perrin and be like, "Are we not worried that the rest of these have the same problem that Cletus had, and that thing's gonna appear again? Is that just me?"
I mean, nobody died last time. Well, I mean, except for Cletus. Yeah, we're fine. I'm sure it's fine. Probably. Either it's fine or we're all gonna die. But like right now, there's a party. What are we gonna do about it? You know, and not have a party.
You're gonna want to go easy on those drinks, little ones.
Vox, did you hear that? I think that was a challenge.
Easy on the drinks, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just with your size and constitution, I'm looking at you right now.
That was a challenge, in fact.
Staying to your size, I think Vox is going to gain Giant's Might at that and become much larger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to keep drinking.
Well,
Thank you for the concern. And she slams it.
What's the size proportion to the full-size hill giants?
The
Vox.
God, what size is it when you?
It says if you are smaller than large, you become large.
Well, you
along with
become large.
anything Wearing.
I think you're a good.
Lack of room to become large.
Yeah, there is this broad, like thick, muscled. Honestly, looks a little bit like an 11.5-foot Carl Weathers with green skin is looking up at you now, Vox, because you are a good foot higher than them.
Yeah, I mean, Uru City will be full of surprises, but boy, if this ain't the kitten's toe.
All right, don't fall in love too fast. She'll stab you, like in a fun way.
Hey, friend, it's too late.
Fair enough. Vox, are we going 1 for 1 or what?
Yeah, great. Another. I'll take another.
Line them up.
You see several other hill giants gather around, and you've got a lot of the other ones are kind of breaking down camp to get ready for a day's march before the hoedown celebration. But you see many are joining.
Nyx has already started taking bets quietly amongst them and like getting a little pool going.
Fauna, as usual, is trying to talk Perrin out of drinking as much as he is always drinking.
Fantastic. Both Perrin and Vox, go ahead and give me a Constitution check. Or a
Perrin,
save.
we still have
not
to
a check.
walk this whole way before the hoedown. Are you sure you really want to drink that much right now? We still have like a hike.
I walk better when I'm drunk.
I've heard that one before.
Oh,
What you mean
amen,
is
brother. I
theory,
hear
like,
that.
you don't have to walk. That's not the same.
Well,
I got a
it's the
17.
same for me. Also got a 17.
Okay. No impairment, but you do feel this. There's a flavor to it, like a grassy absence. Honestly, there's some higher end. It's like hay and anise and coriander, and the bite, the wave of fire that hits you after the initial pull is pretty shocking. But on 2 17s, you both manage admirably. As the camp begins to break down around you, we're going to cut back to Atticus. You enter the tent, Cletus behind you. Very simple, again, woven together, like these tents are mostly made out of plant matter. There's a tall, sort of conical peak to it in the center. And you see Uru sitting at the far end, just behind a fire that looks like it's recently gone out. There's still some smoke in this tent.
Atticus immediately at the sight of fire shields his eyes from it, but still greets Uru. And says in
Ooh.
Hill Giant, forgive the Shield of Eyes, but damn, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Let go, say, in this flame. I don't think you'll be needing to shield your eyes like that here.
Yeah, at that, Atticus slowly lets down his hand from his eyes.
Yeah.
And takes a deep breath and sits across from the fire from Uru.
As you look in the space, you're safe. Like, there's still some glowing embers there. It's not a full fire, but give me an Arcana check.
That's 11 on Arcana.
Okay. On an 11, you don't even feel the hint of a presence looking at this fire. But also you could tell, like, this is not, so there's no extra protection that you feel the unbroken green crackling around you, that ancient sacred magical energy that you have known since a child when you set foot in this place. Uru is going to look across at you.
The darkness can get to you here. I think it is afraid of this place.
Then why does it want to control this place if it's so afraid of it? Is there something it fears within the grass, within the green?
I believe it fears this place more than any at Gose. Regardless, I don't believe it will show its face here.
Well, that's a hell of a relief. Tell me, Uru, why do you seek counsel with me?
My dream told me you would come here. It told me that you were returning because you intend to finish the job your family started all those centuries ago.
You were always one for intuition, and that's my aim. I traveled a long way down. I've pieced together some things about it. It's just so much lost to time. I wasn't looking in the right places. But it has to end before all this is gone.
You see, Atticus, that Uru looks back to Cletus, and his eyes rest on Cletus for a moment before returning to you.
You also know what he carries with him.
Yeah, I do. Unclear of how.
Well, here's my kin. No better time than now to find out how you did return to us, Cleto Le Grand.
Atticus, you see Uru still sitting on the ground, beckons Cletus closer. Wordlessly, he crosses the distance, throws a look to you as he passes the fire, and then back to his elder. He kneels down and sits with him, face to face. You see they reach out a hand, grasping each other at the forearm. And Uru closes his eyes. Atticus, in this moment, you can give me one of three things. You can give me an insight check, a perception check, or an arcana check.
I'm going to do Arcana. I rolled a 14 plus 8. That will be a 22.
On a 22, while you think Fauna, having seen her power, is probably just inherently naturally better at freeing someone from a curse, simply seems to be part of her nature to disperse that kind of an unwelcome visitor. Uru is capable of that too, while it might require more time and ritual, and perhaps take more out of him as well, especially at this age. But nonetheless, you see, like a careful gardener, Uru prying into the depths of Cletus's being to see what is there. Atticus, in this moment, whether it is indeed something in the smoke from the fire or simply you being here in the Unbroken Green and some of that magic channeling through you, that is a high enough Arcana check that you see an almost visible representation. Cletus cloaked in these translucent black wings that have almost folded down around his body. Arcane is not only keeping Cletus alive, but brought him back. Because in this moment you see the same sort of aura around him that you've at times caught a glimpse of around far in your past other members of the Phoenix family. Cletus was resurrected and brought back by Arcane. Not a pact that someone outside your family can enter into, but rather almost brought back as an unwitting and now hopefully unwilling servant. So Uru starts back.
I cannot break this curse without breaking the boy. If you lose it, at go say you will also lose him. But perhaps for the job you have to do, that is better.
What does your smoke say about my future if I succeed?
Odds are better because we fight with you. Odds are better because you fight with your friends. Many things are too shifting and too clouded for me to perceive them.
I feel like I should mention this, but I communed with the ancient serpent of Solasa. Excuse me, oh my god. And I saw a cord of flames. It projected that onto me. What? I mean, I know of the ancient courts, and I know there's still people serving, but do you know what that means for me?
Our land has been plagued by this darkness for centuries. What the Knights of the Phoenix thought they accomplished was never truly over. We have sat now for hundreds of years and watched that darkness slowly return. Even now, it tries everything it can do to reach us from across the Unbroken Green. Of the future I cannot foresee. I do know one thing, echoes say. The Lagrands, they fight with you. Because many times you have returned to fight for them. I think you're the man for the job. No simpler way to put it.
You honor me, Usa. I'm gonna look at Cletus and say to him, I promise you I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure you get old and fat and you have a happy life.
Atticus, I mean, are you sure? If this darkness, if Arcane, if he brought me back to serve some purpose, what if I ain't served it yet? What if when the time comes I'm not strong enough? I'm not strong enough to resist him. Atticus,
Atticus is going to put a hand on her shoulder and go, come on, man. You're not of the Phoenix. I didn't choose you because you know how to stab things well or fight well, or hold these tenets to heart and are draconic about them. I chose you because of your heart. And that's the most important thing. You have the heart. You have the will. You have the power. It's all right to have some self-doubt, but take it from an outside source. I've seen you do great things, and I've seen you rise to the occasion. And all that matters is showing up sometimes.
Atticus, give me an insight check. in this place, because of the particular type of insight check it is, you have advantage.
I'll take my first roll. My second roll was not great. So 17 plus 5. 22.
Atticus, you are looking down at Cletus. And in this moment, you think back to a time long ago. There's so many similarities between Cletus and the first Cletus. The one that you met as a child, who was the first to find you after your death at the hands of one of the much smaller earth serpents. And they were the one to walk back with you over the Unbroken Green, a pilgrimage that you, after an argument with your mother, decided to undertake a couple years earlier than you were supposed to. They look so similar. And in this moment, you feel something surge through the Unbroken Green into your friend as you hold his shoulder. You feel that magic ripple out just beneath his skin, and the first place you see it is behind his eyes.
While you're telling this, I'm recanting all of this. Like, I'm sharing my memory with Cletus.
Yeah. And as you share it, Atticus, you see a light in Cletus's eyes. Familiar, if only because, the original Cletus, while also a bit of a scoundrel, there was a sharpness to him and a wisdom that, for all his delightful qualities, this current Cletus, you always probably had a little more common sense between the two of you. Maybe a little less reckless. You see something of that wisdom return as you look back in the eyes of your friend. And you see the child that found you as a child. Your first and best friend, as Cletus's namesake's memories are returned to him. And he looks up at you. My old friend.
Looks like I found you this time.
I promise. I'll see this through with you until the end. Ain't no
Atticus
nasty bird
gives-
gonna get the better of us.
Oh, I plan on putting that on a pack and spinning him over a fire and seeing what he tastes like. Atticus goes for a hug and he's like, all right, let's we're taking up enough of Usa's time. Let's get back to the group and help them pack up so we can get this hoedown going.
Yeah, you bid your goodbyes and leave the tent of the elder. Finish packing up. Nyx, go ahead and just roll a luck check for me to see how much of the bets were placed on Perrin and Vox coming out on top. Just a flat D20, right? Yeah.
It's a 9.
Okay. You didn't obviously lose any money. I'm assuming that, Nyx, were you just taking bets or did you also place some money on Perrin and Vox coming out on top?
I think they're replacing somebody, but I think they were also doing the thing where they're like obviously within like earshot of Perrin and Vox, like betting on them, and then
Yeah.
slyly like over in the corner with other hill giants like betting against them. So they had it going both ways.
Okay, on a 9, you pretty much come out even. You didn't earn any gold. I will tell you that a lot of the Othgar tend to exist more off of a barter system. Like usually the things that one family or one hill giant has to offer to another tend to be more valuable. Like they kind of have a closed economy in Salasa. So you do find yourself with a couple just sort of little tokens of, I suppose, your victory. A few small little woven, like almost like little grass mats with, see different emblems on them representing different things in Othgar culture. And in addition to that, you did find yourself kind of just this beautiful pendant. It almost seems like the links itself are so finely crafted that it is. Give me a perception or a nature check, actually.
My choice of the two, or
give me a nature check. I think we'll be
Okay.
more, yeah.
I mean, regardless, it's going to be fucking low. Yeah, that's a 3.
Okay.
I think George is a little curious, so he's gonna kind of wander up. What'd you get there?
I'm going to be honest, I have no fucking clue.
George takes a look.
Yeah. You go to
It
take a look,
seems pretty.
George. What this looks to be, give me a, also for you, I think a nature check. Or you can give me an arcana check too instead. It'll teach you different things about it.
Arcana 21.
Okay. On a 21, you are looking at this. You can't tell. It almost seems to be made up of impossibly tiny bones or maybe spines. At the end, there's some kind of gossamer medallion of it that is made of this overlay of just a lot of different things pressed into what almost looks to be like a diamond, or kind of a crude star shape. On that high of an arcana check, you can tell that there is some latent magical energy to be consumed in this. If it were if the thing were crushed, held in the hand of whoever was wearing it, and that sort of gossamer emblem at the bottom of the links, if that were crushed, somebody could recover a 4th level spell slot. Just kind of as a one-time thing.
Yeah. Well, if you ever get to a point where you're truly in need, go ahead and just crush that in your hand. Give you a little bit of extra go.
Seems a shame to break something so beautiful, but thank you. And thank you. Hey, the solid winnings. They're gonna over at the hill giant they won it from.
That's more of a practical arrangement than it is for beauty. It looks nice, but that's all just part of the spell work, I think.
Well, whoever crafted this did a marvelous job.
Speaking of marvelous jobs, that gem you've got there, how do you carry it around?
Mention of it, Nyx is reflexively gonna tuck it down there behind their leather armor. What's it to you if I do? I'm not gonna get rid of it.
I mean, it's just curious that you keep your soul in it, but you carry it around where anybody could get at it,
How do you know that?
You remember my whole thing where I looked at your thing with the
With the thing?
looking at your frog fella, and then I'll go get it out of my bag. You can take a look if you want.
Oh,
But it shows you where souls are.
well, as you say, anyone can get at it. At least I can protect it. Try to, at least.
That's working.
Sorry, what'd you say? You cut out halfway.
And that's working for you.
So far, we just met.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. I tend to ask questions
ask
that
a
are a
lot
little
of
over the line
questions,
because
yeah.
I'm just sort of curious about it. I haven't seen one like that before, but I've read books that mention about it.
What books?
Oh, let's see here.
Where'd you
There's
read them?
Talmuds. Well, I mean, anywhere I can, honestly. But the one I'm thinking of is Talmuds, where it talks about the linking a person's soul for control. That's all. I was just curious about that.
Control was an after effect, wasn't its purpose.
Interesting.
If I'm honest, maybe that's also why I hang on to it.
Understood. Sorry if I pushed too hard on that. You know, sometimes it's like an itch in the brain. You just can't help but ask about it.
Well, for all your faults, I am grateful for your help. This
Well,
whole thing
when
with Bert has had a lot of us on edge, and we already have a lot of problems on our plate to deal with. He's
Yeah,
become
no,
important too.
It's a lucky thing as far as it goes. I'm glad I could step up and help. You know, when I can. Most of the time, I just kind of I do research. I acquire artifacts, that kind of thing, and retrieve things here and there, bring them back to the Black Mountain or somebody else. You know, whatever happens to work that way. But helping somebody for real, that's a lot better than locking something away in a museum.
And you just do this for scholastic pursuits? I mean, I don't want to.
Oh, I ask a personal question. It's fair enough to ask one back. I think I
What are you hoping to
committed
gain from this?
myself. I committed myself pretty young. My father was
What do you
a
want
farmer.
from us?
Well, it's not so much for you, but my father was a farmer, and we had a mule. We would dig up the ground and all that, and he always told me and my brother not to play on the mule, but you know, we're wee folk as it is, but that never stopped us. We would climb up and jump off and all this. But one time we climbed up and the mule got startled and it bucked and it kicked and it split my brother's head wide open. So I lay there, he was alive still, and I just couldn't do anything. So I try to find out whatever I can because I don't like that feeling of watching somebody go and you can't do anything about it.
That's
And
a
I
lot
want
for a young one
that
to
to never
witness.
happen again. Yeah, oh, well, it was bad. It's bad enough that my father blamed me, kind of drove me away from home. But, you know, either way, since then, I've pretty much been dedicated to trying to do everything I can to stop that.
No one should be blamed for the reactions of nature and fate. There's one thing this world has taught us, it's cruel.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that are guaranteed, and that's, I guess, maybe what I'm hoping for is undo one of those guarantees. Maybe make it so somebody doesn't have to die over something so nonsensical.
Hey, what are you guys talking about over here?
Dying and my brother's brains and blood. Oh, I that's too direct.
Fauna just Grandpa Simpsons it and like turns around and leaves it me.
Right. My bad. It's like I always go straight to the answer that I shouldn't say out. The weather's very nice out.
Hey,
There's a
Perrin, you
moon.
want to help me tear down this tin over here? It's the last one we got.
Oh, cool. Yeah, definitely call me out in front of everybody when the last tent's there. I got 3 drinks left out of the the dozen.
Yeah, no,
Vox,
we have the tents over here, though.
No, that's fine. Vox, you can take care of those, and I'll take care of the tent, right?
Box, you're really big, right? You could probably get this tent down in like two shakes of an Atticus tail.
Can't I just like carry the tent? Do I need to take it down? Isn't
Oh
it
yeah, you
easier
just
for
take it down.
myself?
I'll get these big fellas here to carry it. I mean, unless you're willing. You're probably taller than most of them now.
I don't know how long this lasts either.
Hey, Vox, now that you're like a giant, want to see who can lift the most? Since we don't have darts.
Shit.
It's gonna be me, and I'm gonna go to pick up Atticus. I would like to pick
Would
you up.
Atticus would let this happen? Atticus, while getting picked up by Vox, is going to try and pick Vox up and like switch positions.
Both of you make me athletics checks.
They just levitate.
Jesus. All right. Athletics?
If we have to spend the rest of the session in like a Willy Wonka scenario and both get you down from floating up into the sky, I'm gonna be real upset.
Perrin for sure has given Bardic Inspiration to Vox, by the way, so you get an extra D8.
Oh fuck yeah!
You have to beat a 26.
Oh jeez.
I got a 17.
Even with the D8?
Damn.
Yeah, I only rolled a 2 on the D8.
Yeah.
I rolled at 18 and I get +8 to athletics.
How you get
Bucks,
+0.
you're going to pick Atticus up, and like Atticus, describe to me what happens to Vox as they go to pick you up. Like, how do you win this battle or this contest of strength? Oh, muted.
I'm laughing because I have to describe the physics of this. Yeah, so while Vox is picking Atticus up, Atticus kind of like lifts up. So Vox maybe for a second has this like, yeah, I'm stronger than Atticus right now. And her arms keep going back and back and back. And then she just gets lifted up upside down. And Atticus is just holding Vox like it's like, how, like your feet are straight up in the air if you're like, or like they're like
Atticus,
in a dancing move.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're getting
like
you're getting
football
dirty
learning.
danced right now. Yeah. Yeah.
I
You
rolled
hear-
a 3 on Constitution. I think Vox pukes just being upside down. Just immediately barf.
Yeah, Bert
But
is
it's
like in the middle of running up
glorious.
to Atticus after the tent is taken down and just gets absolutely covered.
Oh god, the moonshine.
Oh man. Oh jeez.
It didn't taste any better coming out than it did going in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
It
rank.
doesn't taste much better after it's come out neither.
I'm so sorry, Bert.
Yeah.
You
no,
know what
it's
that
okay.
means, though. Room for more drinks.
Hey.
Sorry.
I mean that was a lot. That was like 12 feet of drink coming out in.
There's a wash bucket over there, bud. And
Yeah.
Atticus like sets Vox down and takes part of his cape and just like wipes her mouth.
Oh god. I thought being big means that I would have more room. I don't think I have more room.
I told you to be careful.
Yeah, you were right.
Oh, it's okay. Can someone get her some like bread or something or?
Yeah, I think I can get it. And Perrin does not move at all and smiles.
Fauna takes out of her many like herbs that she has with her, just takes like a big piece of ginger and hands it to Vox. Just chew on this. That should help.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to go to the party?
Thought this was the party.
Nope.
Oh no,
Hasn't even
you're
started yet.
It hasn't
I
even
tried
started
to tell
yet.
you we still have to hike before we get to the party.
Fairly certain this is just the pre-drinking phase.
Hey, Barbarella, I'll race you to the next place since you're so giant and
Please just carry me the rest of the way.
Atticus carries Vox like a baby. Like turns his gigantic
12
cape into a
above.
baby.
Give me another
like a
athletics
baby
check.
Bjorn.
You're gonna need to hit a DC 15. Like Vox is very large right now.
No, I know. I think I just hit it. 7 plus 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15.
You
Yep,
just
hit
manage. Vox, as long as
Yeah.
you want to, you can be carried like a baby.
I would love to be carried by a baby by Atticus. She's like, oh, you're so strong.
I know.
It's just
I
as
know I
12-foot
am.
Vox is just patting your face. The hand
I'm
is
like-
like
Where's your
as big as your
mustache?
head.
Yeah. I'm like scratching her back and like patting and going, there. It's
Great.
all right. Yeah.
Okay.
Getting weird.
As you are all
Hey,
kind of-
Fauna, I would carry you too if you were this drunk, all right?
Well, are you saying I should get really drunk? Because I haven't actually really tried that yet.
Do you want to be like Vox right now? And he's gonna like Vox is probably like just drooling on Atticus's shoulder.
She like
I
sheds
mean-
a tear for your mustache.
The throwing up part didn't look great. I'm going to be honest with you.
Moderation is key, but I mean, I've been to a couple of these things and I've never seen a sober person there. I'll tell you that much.
Fauna, behind you, roll
First time
a
for everything.
perception check for me real quick. Oh, it's not too high.
$16.
Okay. It's you do on a 16. You do you hear them right as they get up behind you, but Cletus is going to come up behind you and just scoop you up in the same way that Atticus is holding Vox, and looks down at you.
Sorry, was that too forward?
I just
No, it's kind of nice.
Okay. All right. Well, you tell
And I
me
didn't even have to do the throwing up part, so that's a plus.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. You let me know when you want down.
Well, are we going to be walking now or just standing here? Because
yeah, Cletus is still
Y'all
just
are falling
looking into your
behind.
eyes. Oh shit! Cletus is gonna start
It's getting
to
uncomfortable.
run forward. All of you head off, unless there's something specifically that somebody wants to get done on the day's march. I'm gonna cut us forward to the making of camp and the hoedown.
I just had a quick thing.
yeah.
Fauna wasn't betting on Perrin and Vox like for the arm wrestling, but she did make a bet with the hill giant that Perrin about how much Perrin of the moonshine Perrin could drink, because she knows that Perrin can drink a lot. And I think the hill giant thought like just like a regular sort of sized dude, and
Cool.
so
Give me a
so she made
persuasion
a
check.
bet
see-
that he
yeah.
like wouldn't pass out.
Great. Give me a persuasion check to see how well you hook, line, and sinker them.
Betting
on
on
this.
your pseudo father's alcoholism is
Listen, if he's not
fucking
going to stop
insane.
drinking, at least I could gain something from it. Did you say
It's-
persuasion?
Mhm.
25.
Okay. On a 25, Fauna, while Cletus is still carrying you, that same hill giant that had cautioned Vox and Perrin, but also then especially Vox, against drinking too much of this particular distilled spirit, is going to come up to you and begrudgingly hand you a sack of about 30 gold pieces. And then also,
Yeah, I know I'm a little bit short. I tell you what, we're gonna be together for a few days. I owe you a favor.
Hey, there you are. Did you have any more of that? Could I get another one?
I mean,
Are you not serving
No,
any
yeah,
more?
yeah. No, for
Varen,
sure.
I think you're good for now.
He's gonna make
Yeah,
me one
I'm
more.
about
Yeah,
to
make me
be.
one more Constitution save.
Don't you
Vox
lose me this favor,
Turn
Perrin.
tiny again because
11.
the whatever she used
I don't
only
know.
lasts a little bit. So I put her in a baby Bjorn. I made my cape into a baby Bjorn for her.
It's like a little kangaroo pouch, I feel like.
On
Stick her head
an
up.
11, Perrin, he begrudgingly hands you his last bit of moonshine. You take a drink and immediately just thump, like hit the grass. You are out.
Atticus picks Perrin up and throws him over his shoulder.
Great.
Fauna
Since
just, like,
since Vox
hands
turned
the-
small again.
Fauna hasn't even had time to put the gold in her satchel. She just hands it back.
Appreciate it.
I guess
Actually,
I owe you a
Atticus
favor
is just like carrying him by a leg. That's what he's doing.
Great,
I
fantastic.
think that means that Perrin's cape is just like over his face, but he's still got a thumbs up out.
Just, okay. What a scene. What a as you finish the day's march and arrive at where you will make camp for the evening, and the hoedown will take place. We're gonna go ahead and do our 10-minute break, and we will be back shortly with the rest of the session.
Playing in a knot.
We are back live again. You finished the day's march through the Unbroken Green. The Legrand family and company, including yourselves, begin to set up camp for the night and prepare for the celebration. Is there any, before we get into the hoedown itself, is there any prep thing that any of you want to do to prepare for it?
All I do is I set Vox in one chair and Perrin in another, and I pull their water jugs out and put them in their hands and give them both a pat on the head, and I walk away.
It's been like a day, right?
Been a full day. All your ill effects have worn. I mean, both of you, I think actually go ahead and roll me a Constitution save just to see if you have a hangover during the hoedown. We're going to set the DC at an 8. It's pretty low DC to
14.
not have a hangover.
Pretty typical day for Perrin, I think.
Fuck yeah, I passed.
Cool. No hangovers. You actually feel the particular type of, you feel a little invigorated. Like there's almost this lingering, we'll call it like having a few cups of coffee at night, like, or depending on your tolerance, maybe just half a cup of coffee at night. But there is a little bit of a buzz going through your body as evening begins to descend on the Unbroken Green. Fireflies begin to emerge. You hear bird calls shift to insect song in this space, and it's beautiful.
Atticus is waiting his whole life for just this moment. He reaches into his bag and pulls out a pair of overalls and puts them on and gets barefoot on the Unbroken Green, and he has a little straw hat he puts on too. He is ready for this thing.
The fact that Atticus has just been carrying that around in his bag this whole time, just in case we run into a hoedown, is the best thing I've ever heard.
Bert is going to walk over also with another, like a small pair of overalls and a straw hat. Hey, everyone else ready to go? Atticus, yeah, you changed already. You're so quick.
One of us is going to have to change, bud.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, that makes sense.
No, I'm joking. You can wear that.
Oh, you had me right there. I've been using all my extra time to, sew up this pair of overalls. Just, getting ready for when we got down to. It's been a lot of nights.
Bert, even though you're in your normal Bert form and you're wearing this, you still look a lot like him.
Oh. Thanks, Atticus. I'm keeping him safe, just like I promised.
Means the world, bud. All right.
You gotta
I'm gonna get pissed.
Does he know how to dance? Because I sure don't. And if I could try and tap into, was Atlas any good at dancing?
He liked dancing with his mom. Or at least to the thought of his mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try and channel that.
Yeah,
That doesn't seem too terribly sad at all.
He was a goofy dancer.
Okay.
But he liked it. I can't say it was good in any way, but he had fun while he was doing it.
I got the goofy covered, so I think we'll be good. See y'all around.
And Bert's going to scamper off into the crowd. The way that the camp is
Do you
set
ever
up...
get the feeling that Bert gets up to like a whole bunch of super exciting adventures when he scampers off that way? Like, do you think what he's doing is way better than what we're doing, Atticus? Is that the impression you get?
Yeah, I feel like when he does that, he's going to come back piss drunk. It's happened a couple times. So.
Yeah.
Like, he has scampered off that multiple
scepter.
times and been
We
drunk
all
as
getting
shit.
pissed
So
drunk.
You're telling you
you make candied apples here too? God damn.
Adds up.
Everyone.
There's no
The
hope for our
candy,
boy.
the candy apple caramel is just also made with moonshine, so he eats the candy apple and still gets drunk.
Yeah.
Atticus is gonna, run, grab drinks for everyone, and bring him to the whole party and raise a glass to cheers, to the whole group. And he's like, it's been a long road for a lot of us, and I never thought I would be coming back home less so much with all of you, and it kind of surprising to say, but because it's been a good amount of time, but it hasn't been a long time. But y'all are friends, and I don't say that lightly, and I wouldn't want to share this special moment. These hoedowns don't happen all the time, especially in times like this. So cheers to friends, and cheers to graciously entering a cultural event, a proper introduction to the South Green. He's gonna raise his glass up.
It's weird how you can get mind controlled by someone's uncle, and then you bring them to a cursed tower where we die and get reborn over and over again, and then they become your closest friends.
Yeah, it's really weird that someone can gaslight you based on your valor to come do something, and you get wrapped up into something crazy, but you make a bunch of friends along the way.
And we fucked that uncle up.
To the friends we made along the way?
Deserved it.
How about to something
Country
more
roads.
fun? How about to the country roads? I like that.
All right, fine.
As you all make this toast, a lot of the Othga behind you tuning up various stringed instruments. The tents just in this large circle around a central fire that burns high and bright, casting light along with the stars in this space. The celebration, right before it begins, Uru enters the space. I think all of you now see him for the first time since you weren't with Atticus. But he emerges out, standing in front of the fire to address everyone.
It's been a long time since we have been here in the Unbroken Green. We do this now to bring a war to that which threatens to overtake our lands. So let this be a celebration of sorts to commemorate what I believe will be our victory. For us, home is anywhere that's green. And so we offer our greatest gift to this sacred place that allows us. We offer our joy. Everyone, enjoy yourselves.
And the band finishes its tuning and begins to play.
Atticus is going to lean over to Nyx and go, believe it or not, that old fart used to be the hardest partier I ever seen in my life. Like, would jump off roofs and stuff.
Oh, don't you go telling her now. Don't you go telling her. Far behind
Nyx,
me those days.
Who has traded one of the woven mats that they won earlier for like a colorful scarf, has changed out of their leather armor into just like common clothes, just nice camp clothes, but still has like the scarf tied up around their head and neck. And I strangely believe it. He's got that glint in his eye.
No, me? No.
And Nyx is gonna offer their drink to toast with him.
He pulls out a drink of his own, toasts you, and then you see gives you one more wink, and then downs the entire thing in a flash, like one of the entire things that Perrin and Vox had. And as he finishes it,
damn,
you see throws it into the fire behind them. The remnants of the alcohol and the sap that just like a flare of green goes up in the fire and arcs into the sky above, and he gives a little cackle and goes off to dance those of the group that are already kind of like forming a circle around the fire, and begins to step
That
in
guy's
time
for
with
sure
them.
jumping off a roof before the end of the night.
Perrin, you don't get it. One time I saw him wrestle a dragon-sized duck.
They make
Wait,
ducks
hold on.
that big?
Where have you found a dragon-sized duck, and why am I just
Why
now
is
hearing
that your
about this?
measurement of size, though?
It was just a big duck. I mean,
Are you sure it wasn't a dragon?
With the
it could have
bill?
been. I was
Ooh,
shit-faced.
we've
It could have been actually a dragon, but I swear to God, I saw a beak and yellow.
Biggest
feathers on
duck
it,
I
so-
ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
He won, by the way. It was crazy. I think he had it as a
Wait.
pet for a while.
Now you said yellow feathers. So was it a duckling? Every duck I've ever seen starts yellow
Oh,
as a little
shit.
duckling and then changes.
my
Was
God.
it just
It
a
could
duck?
have been a baby, dragon-sized baby duckling.
Oh, Flappy was a bigger than a house by the time he all growed up.
But is this a dragon house or a normal house?
I don't understand the question.
Yeah, that's fair.
And all of a sudden, me being a wise man is quickly slipping away.
You can keep going the way you were going. You don't have to keep interjecting.
Nope, no, yes, I'm right here
God,
now.
he's got amazing hearing. He's like 100 feet away in the middle of a party. He
Where,
is still directly
where
responding
the
to
roof?
us.
Where the roof at?
He's senile. He's talking to himself. Atticus is gonna look at where's Bert at? What's Bert doing?
Give me a perception check.
$11.
Great. On an 11, you see Bert standing over by the fire. He is intently watching some of the nearest Othgon, trying to, like, you see him muttering to himself under his breath, trying to do the steps correctly. Really, like, about 10 seconds in, he just takes a little wrong turn, slips on the grass, and just does a full face plant on the ground below.
Atticus is gonna walk up and be like, "Remember, bud, it's not about the steps. It's about liking the music and having fun."
Okay,
He's gonna pick him up and walk away.
I can do that. Just having fun. Okay.
Bert's gonna head back into it. Perrin, as the music starts to pick up, you see Cletus walks over towards you.
Get him outside.
Perrin is coming right now.
Fantastic. Cletus is going to take a second to walk over to him. Cletus approaches you, pulling his lute out, and raises an eyebrow. You fancy joining?
Well, all right then. What do you want to play?
I mean, I just figured we'd join them. We don't need to hijack the whole thing. They got, but you know, I've seen you play before. I think you can keep up.
I mean, I'll do my best, yeah. And Perrin like swings his lute out from his cloak and like adjusts it and does a little flourish that's very clear he's been waiting for somebody to ask him to play.
Clea smiles and claps you on the back and brings you into the kind of like the outer circle of like where all the musicians are kind of gathered in a circle here. Go ahead and make me a performance check.
Where's my performance?
You can do it. Cleese is going to give you advantage on it
18.
too. 18.
Oh, with advantage, it's 21.
Okay. Perrin, it's been a while since someone asked you to play. As you start to get the feel and the rhythm and the melodies and harmonies that are weaving back and forth here, tell me, what is Perrin thinking of as he goes to join in?
Yeah, I think some part of Perrin, especially his like demeanor, he's very much just kind of going into that flow state, entering into the song, playing along. But I think his mind is going towards Flora. I mean Fauna too, but it's going towards the daughter that he lost. Yeah, so I think he's just thinking about her and thinking about family and thinking about the girls playing as kids and dancing around, and he would play the lute and they would, you know, run around the cabin.
Perrin, as you join in, channeling those memories, you see at first Cletus, but then more and more begin to look at you and start to follow your lead. The rest of the party, you're watching. Perrin is not taken over what is going on here, but is rather intuitively found a way to not only perfectly complement what was already taking place, but to take it somewhere unfamiliar and new. And there's kind of this electric energy that begins to flow over the other Othka there that are all playing instruments as they kind of all begin to follow Perrin's lead in this song.
Nyx is going to go up to Atticus and almost like light-footed, just, I don't know what I'm doing here. I haven't been to a dance like this since I was a child. I certainly don't know these steps. Can you teach me?
Well, first and foremost, what you're doing here is having fun. And of course I can teach it you. May I?
Lead the way.
And Atticus is just gonna teach a little 1-2 step, very forgiving. Do I need to roll anything to show the dance?
Roll me a performance check with advantage.
$14.
14. Perfectly. You've done this 100 times before, Atticus. And while you've been to more than your fair share of hoedowns in your over 1,000 years of life, hailing from the South Green and in particular being friends with more than a few hill giants, you have never been to a celebration like this beneath the night sky of the Unbroken Green. And as you barefoot are showing Nyx the steps that you've done so many times before, you've been in war Atticus mode now for a while, and like solemn and determined and calculating in your head who will join the cause and how you're going to overcome this thing that has such deep ties to your family. I think for the first time since this particular journey started and you set out from Asparia, I think for the first time, hope fills you, Atticus. Flooding not just from the Unbroken Green into you, but from your heart. As you kind of look over and catch out of the corner of your eye, Bert is not doing any of the steps, but he is just like leaping much like a frog would, like 10 feet off there, as like several hill giants just cheer him on, and he starts like kind of, he's having to like place his hands on their shoulders and whatnot, but he's fully vaulting their bodies just from one spot to another. Armor off, bouncing around.
Fauna sees Atticus and Nyx dancing, and like as he's jumping by, she just like kicks off her shoes and grabs Bert's hand, or you know, frog hand.
Yeah.
And says, "I think we could do better than them. Let's do this."
Okay, I'll give it another shot.
But neither of us know how to do it at all, so we're just like
go ahead and roll a
spinning
performance check.
around
Bert's gonna roll one too.
I don't know if Nyx has noticed this, but in the teaching, you may come to realize we're just on the dance floor doing it.
That was somewhat their intention.
Yeah. Atticus like took little steps back the entire time while he's like, all right, no, like remember your left leg's the one you spin. Kept just like seeing if she would notice.
This is also probably the most you've seen of their actual face. They still have their neck and ears and head and hair covered, but like without the shadow, you can actually see them. And also probably some of the rare times that you see them just grinning. And they're actually not only learning the dance, but learning how to have fun.
I see why you wear a mask and a hood over your face, Nyx.
Why?
If looks could kill.
Oh, stop, you old charmer.
Atticus is just gives the like, yeah, I know grin.
Fauna, what was your performance check? Bert got a 6.
15.
Okay, on a 15, Bert joins. Like you're holding Bert's hands. Bert is still just jumping really high, but you're able to kind of turn these into like almost like little pirouettes and stuff as Bert sort of like you control the jumps around you. You catch Cletus out of the corner of your eye, who is like over dancing with some of his fellow family members, just kind of shoots you a smile.
Fauna's gonna pass Bert off to Vox, who I assume is standing nearby. I don't know. And
Vox,
then
you don't have to know the steps. You just gotta have fun.
Fox is going to put Bert on her toes and actually follow the steps with a 20 performance.
Immaculate. Oh, okay. All right. Well, no, this is good too.
Fauna's gonna go over to Cletus. Wait, is Cletus actually dancing, or he's just standing around with?
He is dancing, but he's not dancing with anyone. He's kind of like in formation with a. So you go over to him, and he is waiting for you to ask him to dance.
Fauna's like suddenly nervous, like even though everything that's happened, like she's just nervous to even ask him to dance. Partly because she's still not really sure how to do the dance, but she's like, I mean, do you want to try dancing with me?
It'd be my pleasure.
Suddenly taking over lead, Nyx is gonna shuffle over, kind of like while still dancing, and just elbow like Fauna into Cletus. And then keep going.
Cletus catches you, mirrors one of your hands with his, and takes the other and puts it at your waist. You okay to follow my steps?
That would be great.
Okay. And Cletus. It's pretty good. With advantage, that is a total of a 17 plus 6, 23 on performance as he begins to caper at a speed that you didn't think possible for not knowing the steps. It is a whirlwind around the fire fauna, and you see light and fireflies rising from the grass and the stars above and the faces of your friends smiling.
I think Perrin, as he kind of wraps up like whatever song or whatever, he's going to set his lute down and take a little bit of a break. He's going to start towards the drink table, and he sees this happen with Fauna and Cletus, and he kind of smiles, and I think he just kind of walks out to the outskirt of the party, and he's going to look for like a private area, I don't know, like behind a tent, behind something. And I think he's going to pause, glance back at Fauna and Cletus, and he's going to try to open a door to the cabin.
You tell me if Perrin needs to make a check for this or not, because we talked about this can be your one per day. This is a location that you're perfectly familiar with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Perrin needs to make a check here?
Perrin has not drank today. He got distracted with the music, didn't get a drink. I think he's cool and confident. He can perfectly picture that clearing and that cabin. So I think he's able to just see it.
You go to any opening into a new place is a door, Perrin, and you go to open an empty tent up, and where there would usually just be the interior of the tent, you are looking through into the interior of your cabin. Where I know
Fauna is distracted, but I feel like she would at least have a chance of like feeling that something. Like she's super connected to Perrin. She's super connected to the cabin.
She's very for like sure, like the third time around the fire, she'd be like, "Wait, where's Perrin?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and not just that, but like feeling like that's like something like magic or something happened that was like connected to her in some way.
Yeah. Give me an Arcana check for it, Fauna.
Ooh, nat 20. Actually, it's not a nat 20, it's a little moon, but I think the moon means
the
nat
moon
20.
is the nat 20. Fauna, you are kind of like, you've gotten to the point now where like you've kind of gotten the steps a little more advanced, and Cletus has like worked on passing you off to like a couple of, like you've gone back and forth between a couple other hill giants, and you've danced on your own now in this, and you feel it all of a sudden. The energy in this space shifts, and while overwhelmingly it is the magic of the Unbroken Green that exists in your arcane senses, something has changed. It's like a door has opened and a fresh breeze is flowing through, and on that breeze you smell evergreen trees, the Evewood. And if you follow it, you know right where to go to find it.
I definitely think that there's no way that she would not be like, what the hell is that? But so she would definitely go in search of it. I think if Cletus was nearby, she would just grab his hand and bring him with her.
Okay. You head over that way. You find Perrin standing in front of the tent, except instead of looking in, Perrin, tell me, did you open the door so that it would reveal like the interior of the cabin as if it was the cabin door itself?
so.
Or are you opening it?
Yeah.
Okay. You open it to see the interior of the cabin. It is much like you remember, with the exception of in the corner, hasn't noticed you yet, but is just cooking a little meal over the stove. You do see a smaller, kind of bent with age, white hair. You see the same version of Malik that you saw when you were at your cabin before, in the place between realms. And you see a version of Balak, that same version, as he just kind of is humming to himself, cooking in this space on your stove.
I think Perrin kind of reaches in and raps on the interior of the door frame.
Oh, it's you. I remember you, the one from before.
Yep, that was me. You seem like you're doing okay.
Yeah, so I can't tell you. There's something about this space, the air. I don't know. It was a lot of love and care put into this place, and I can't help but think anyone that wound up here would do them a world of good.
Yeah.
Can I offer you an omelet? I was just making one myself.
Oh, no,
Perrin, what are
no.
you doing?
Oh.
Oh.
We're
Hello.
dancing. Right.
I felt you opened or something. I felt something, and what are you doing?
Just checking in. I'm just it's fine. He's staying there, so just kind of wanted to see how that was going.
I've made omelets if anyone wants any. I'm more than happy to cook up a couple more.
Is the woman that I brought, is she not there?
No, I haven't seen her.
Right.
Just you and.
What woman? And wait, would I know who this guy is? I forget. I mean, I know who he is, but would Fauna know?
Give me I'm gonna call it an insight check.
Hmm, 15?
On a 15, Fauna, it took you a second. There's something about the face that is familiar, and then you realize why it took you so long to place it. While some elements of the face remain the same, the smile now is not maniacal, conniving, no secrets behind it. It's a genuine smile, and there's warmth to it. And you see that even though, perhaps looking even older now, more hunched, more venerable, but there is a brightness to Balak's eyes that was never there before. And you realize, I think as a witch, you oftentimes recognize things by insight or by intuition. It took you a moment because none of what you felt before in his presence is there now.
Perrin, what's happening?
Oh, I'm making omelets.
That's
yeah,
lovely.
Don't.
What is happening?
All right. Well, you seem like you're doing fine, so I'm gonna get going here.
Oh, okay. Oh well. Goodbye then.
Don't forget to weatherproof the chimney. You have to make sure you tuck in. You got to
Wait.
seal.
Yeah, oh
Wait.
yeah, I have noticed a bit of a draft. Yeah. Oh.
That'll get worse.
This is the cabin,
Yep.
and you're just you're just gonna close the door again? I mean, I haven't been back there in so long.
Yeah, I know. It's being used for something right now, and
I mean, I can kind of see that, but
For
it couldn't hurt
omelets.
to have, it couldn't hurt to have one omelet.
I don't want to go in there right now. I guess you can go. I will
No, I
get
mean,
you tomorrow.
I'm not gonna leave you.
Right. I'm not ready to do that if I don't have to. I just wanted to make sure things were going okay.
Okay. I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure you weren't gonna leave us again.
No, that's not my goal anymore. All right. Enjoy your omelets, and Perrin's gonna slowly close the door.
It's just the one omelet for me, actually. Oh, well.
No, that's all right. Make all three.
Oh.
And Perrin closes the door.
Leave the house, make 3 omelets.
I think I told you that I saw Flora. It wasn't Flora, but I saw her, and I thought maybe she was there still, but I didn't think she could be, so I don't know. I was just thinking about her, and I thought maybe it was possible.
But she
And I
wasn't.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Well, maybe she was just outside.
I mean, he did say he was only making 1 omelet. And she does love fried egg.
Well, she must be somewhere. If she was there before.
I don't know if it was this cabin or like a different cabin that's kind of this cabin. It's all a little fuzzy. So, I don't know. I put off looking. I'm really sorry that he's in there. I know that's kind of, I don't know, invasive, but it is working. It's holding him, and I think he's better.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed nice. He was gonna make
Yeah.
us an omelet.
I don't know if it's the dumbest. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess I should have said 4. My bad, Cletus.
It's all right. I'm allergic to eggs, so.
Oh, I didn't know that about you, Cletus.
Yeah, no, something terrible. I mean, when
Atticus does not know that, by the way.
When Uru had old Flappy and it would lay eggs, them giant eggs were pretty much the bane of existence when I was a little kid. So, you know, you'd come around the corner, smack into a 10-foot egg, and
Well, that's not allergies.
broke out in
That's
hives
just
on
running
more than
into
one kid.
eggs.
Yeah.
Well, hives. Okay,
Oh.
right, okay.
Well,
Eggs part makes
I'll
sense.
remember that.
Fauna, listen. I know we're in the middle of this whole thing here, and I hate to be throwing more irons in the fire, but if your sister's lost out there somewhere, well, it wouldn't sit right with me to not help make sure you find her after all this is said and done. I hope you'll let me come with you.
Thanks, Cletus. That means a lot, but unless an opportunity arises while we're in the midst of this, I feel like we should just get through whatever is coming first and then worry about that.
Your worries are mine. You want to get back to the dance?
Yeah, actually, I was hoping we could talk for a minute.
Oh, I'll go. I'll leave.
Yeah, of course.
And just awkwardly, like, doesn't even turn around. He just backs up
He does the Nick.
into the darkness.
All
right.
Fauna, before you have this
Bye.
conversation with Cletus, we are gonna, boom,
smash cut back just to I want to actually check in on what is Vox up to now that they've probably finished their dance with Bert.
Vox is now just over at the bar area and is playing that game where you put something under one cup, but you have three, and shuffling it around and trying to take everyone's money that way with her sleight of hand.
And Atticus is confused watching this.
You're just watching this and cackling maniacally.
Great.
Nyx in a whisper is explaining all the little sleight of hand things that they catch to Atticus. I'm like, oh, there it goes. I'm like,
yeah, just give me
this witchcraft.
Give me a sleight of hand check right now.
That is a 19 plus 11, 30.
Truly like magic.
I feel like Vox lifts all three up and there's no ball there, and then she sets them down and picks them up and there's three.
There's three balls.
There's three. You do it again, all the balls disappear. You set the cups down and all of a sudden Bert coughs and three of the balls just come. I don't even know how. Not a plant.
I've seen this con 100 times. This is masterful work.
Thank you. It's tons of practice. So what were those bets again?
Give me a luck check to see how many.
Oh, it's a 16.
On a 16, it's a 30. Like, you get 160 gold. Like, the Legrand family, while pretty well off, did not obviously come on this trip flush with cash. You get 160 gold pieces off of them, and that's
Oh,
really about all that they brought, at least for walking around money. You see, sitting down across from you, Uru walks over, takes a seat at the table.
What you want, wager me I can pick the right cup and perhaps make up for the rest of my family's shortcomings.
Yeah, I'd bet all your money back if you wanted, and if not, it's double next time. I do take credit.
Atticus smirks and he just like shakes his head, like knowing USA, and he's gonna kind of walk off into the moonlight.
Vox, give me one more sleight of hand check, and I'm gonna roll the perception. Ooh, the perception is not good. It is a 7 on the die, but Uru does add 11 to this, so you gotta hit an 18 or higher on your sleight of hand.
I hit an 18 plus 11.
Oh, plus 11. Thoroughly befuddled Uru cannot see this again, like magic. Describe to me what Vox does. Yeah.
From behind his ear.
There was nothing there. There was nothing there before, Shan.
No, it's just been there all night. If you think you can hear better, and she pulls the other one out from his other ear.
Okay. I am much better now.
You see, Uru coughs up. There's another 160, so you have fully doubled. You've doubled for 320 gold pieces. As Uru hands it across from you, in a very gentle way. If you pull back from it, certainly you can. Like, he's not holding you in this place, but as he passes it to you, he takes your hand in his. It's massive. He's like a 12-foot frame, and I imagine Vox is back to normal size now, so his massive hand so gently, though, holds yours. And he looks.
You carry a lot of fate on you. I wonder if you even know how much.
I mean, this lot.
Well, you carry them in your hands.
You see his eyes flash down to your side, where Brightburn is. Tell me. Do you know who watches you?
Well, hopefully no one. That's kind of creepy.
If you want, I can show you.
You know what? What the hell? It's a party, right? Atticus did say you're a little senile, so...
You have no idea.
Uru reaches across Vox and places a thumb on your forehead. Immediately, anyone who's watching you immediately see Vox's... They don't look in distress, but immediately her eyes roll back in her head. Vox, you are taken away. You are standing in front of a tower that you have seen now in your dreams at least once before. And in the cold and unforgiving landscape of northern Numenera, you see the broken off tower of Moorhold rising before you. And standing on the path that leads up to that tower, you see well, you tell me, what would be the most comforting figure for Vox to see right now on this path? What would make you feel the most safe?
Ooh. Yeah, I want to say like most comforting to see would be her dad, but that would also be like an omen. So I think it would be her mother.
You see Eva smiling at you. You don't have to do an insight check, though. You see this form. You can tell it's not your mother, though. As the figure breaks into an easy smile.
I did think it would be a long time before we came face to face like this.
As the voice of Brightburn issues out from your mother.
Nightmare fuel now. You've ruined this.
Do you, in this moment, like, I can see you on that play. Should I perhaps take another form? I wanted to do whatever felt the most safe to...
But you would take your own form. The form of my
have
mother?
no form. I would have to make it from scratch. Tell me, how do you, when I speak to you, how do you see me? Am I a dashing man with, and you see a man with like short parted blonde hair and like a curling kind of dark brown mustache, regal garb, is perhaps a more dashing monsieur, like this? Or...
No, this isn't it either.
Yep.
And I think with Vox's thoughts, it's just like a greyhound puppy, like a greyhound, not a puppy, but like a full dog, just like.
Oh, I see. Yes. I should have thought. Very safe.
Well, as Brightburn's voice speaks to you out of this smaller greyhound, kind of look up to you and cock their head, wagging their tail.
I suppose you are wondering why you are here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm wondering why I'm here. And now you're an adorable talking dog, which honestly, you're a great sword, but this just suits you. And she's going to scratch behind the ears.
Oh, yes. It suits. Oh, that. Having no physical body, I have not felt such a thing before. I quite like that. Perhaps we can figure out a way in the real world for me to, scratches. I'm not sure. Regardless, this is not about me.
Yeah, what is this?
I do apologize. I've not meant to keep any secrets from you, and I assure you there is nothing sinister going on here. Of the opposite, my master, they asked me to keep an eye on you. It is why you found me in the Dread Spire. Carried me all this way.
Are you sure that was me? Because Atticus found you. He just gave you to me because you're a little bit too,
Yes. A little bit too precise for someone who is more used to a cleaver than they are a surgeon scalpel.
Yeah, exactly. But what do you mean? None of this makes sense. Even you talking doesn't make sense. People think I'm crazy when I talk to you.
Again, that is on me. I do not mean to keep secrets. Perhaps my master can make things more clear. If you are willing to follow me.
Yeah, I mean, this can't get any weirder right now.
Well, you said it, not me. Brightburn turns, and in their greyhound form, they begin to head towards Moorhold. Vox, following them. There's a point as you near the tower where Brightburn turns to you. I apologize in advance. There are some things you will see that they will be less than pleasant. Just know you are safe.
I mean, I trust you. You've helped me. We've fought a lot together.
Yes. Well, into the tower then. Vox, as you step close, again, like the dream you had, you see two skeletons here outside the open door of the tower. Your uncles and your mothers, Theon and Eva, here in battle garb. They look as if they've fallen during some fight and remain here against the tower. As you enter it, large and cavernous. There are few halls in here that lead to rooms, but it is more just a tall, spiraling tower that leads to some kind of antechamber at the top. Here, in the entryway, you see, standing at the base of the stairs that ascend the tower. Well, not standing, but their skeletal forms just sort of collapsed. You see a familiar set of armor and a familiar weapon, as a skeleton just has grasped like the ornament of rights in their hand, sprawled out on the floor. Several steps above them, the skeleton leaned against the side, a skeleton that you see dark horns curving out of. And Brightburn looks back to you and lowers his head and then continues to make his way up the stairs.
But wait, what is this?
It is Not for me to say. They will. Well, they will tell you what they can. Know only that it does not have to happen like this.
And Brightburn continues up the stairs. Does Vox follow?
I think that Fox takes a minute and like tries to scoop these skeletal forms and like prop them in like a more respectful manner so they're not just thrown about but rather like up against the wall, and then pulls off her cloak too and covers them.
You perform this act of honoring what appear to be Vox, your fallen friends, and you continue up the stairs after Brightburn. Upon reaching the top of the stairs, well over 100 feet up off the entryway, you hit the top of the stairs and you see a platform, a large set of double doors that are just kind of barely cracked open. You see another skeleton. Their back against the door, sword at their feet, and that new shield that you've recently seen them with the bright hand symbol on the front. As Atticus's skeleton is just almost like it looks like he was like some sort of last stand to prevent someone or something from entering this chamber.
Yeah, Vox picks up the sword and places it on the lap and moves the hands over the sword and the shield.
Brightburn waits for you to do this.
They are ready to see now. Shall we enter?
They'll have answers for this?
They will give what answers they can.
And Brightburn slips into the room.
Vox just touches and like pats the skull of Atticus and walks into the room.
You enter the room. Vox, give me an Arcana check.
The 12.
Okay. On a 12, there are runes inscribed in a circle all around the exterior of this room. You do not know what, but it is some kind of a circle that you can tell, like, whoever it is, a powerful spell that is being maintained here. It's not going to affect you crossing it, but you also know that the type of spell this is, the person who cast it and is maintaining this, like, they've confined themselves. You see that they are bound to this place and cannot leave the circle. As you look up, you see a dark throne that is kind of cut in half. Here in this room, most of the roof has been completely blown off of the space, so there's just like the cold cutting wind that blows through. Seated on the throne is a broad figure, larger than you, but not by a lot. Their shoulders, though, broad. They look incredibly strong, but also broken, perhaps with age, perhaps with too many fights, as they're a little bit bent in their seat. A hood is cast over their face so that you can't see their face at all. At their feet, in front of the throne, you see the final skeleton of your party as you see a dark cloak, the hood pulled down around the shoulders, and you see that this skeleton has actually been put in like a resting. It's as if this was the only skeleton that this figure could access, not being able to leave the space, but you see the skeleton of Nyx, the Lunestone around their neck. And you see, well, not yet. I'll make you make a check for that later. But as you enter into this space, there is you see the figure. They don't get out of their throne entirely, but they rise a little bit and their back straightens.
I think they want you to approach.
Who is they? Who are you? You want me to trust you and approach you, but I don't even know who you are. And my friends, they're thrown about this cemetery.
You have no reason to trust me. But I can promise you that your friends died defending me.
Who are you? Where is this? Everyone that I cared about is here and gone.
Fox, give me a perception check.
19.
On a 19, you see the figure stand now. Still can't see their face, but hanging from underneath a gauntlet that still is over their hand. You see hanging down is the shard of the Lunestone that Nyx carries.
I promise they didn't fall in vain. I know you have questions. I wish there were questions I could answer. Tell me. What would you do to keep the people you love safe?
Everything. I would sacrifice my own life.
Then you and I aren't that different.
I can't believe a word you say. I don't even know who you are. You say that my friends protected you, and yet you won't even show your face.
There are those that watch this place closely, Voxwindler. You stand in your family's greatest inheritance. Your uncle came back from the dead to try and wrest this secret from your grasp. If I show you who I am, then they'll know too. And so
So why have you even brought me here?
Because there will come a time, Vox, when I ask you to do something. And when I ask you to do something, you must do it. No hesitation, no questions. Otherwise, the future that you see here before you, everyone that you love dead, defending me, that future will most certainly come to pass.
If it means stopping this, I'll fight for them, not for you. I don't even know you, but for them.
Good. I don't need you to fight for me. I need you to do it for them. So that this tower is not their resting place. Tell me, did you at least tend to the bodies of the others?
I did. Didn't leave them like that. Atticus without his sword in his hands. Perrin and Fauna not next to each other.
Yes.
And Nyx is here, and you have a piece of her on you. Is that not desecrating her? Not keeping her whole?
How should they get to be whole? When they left me here, I told them to leave. I told them to get out. And they wouldn't. They took the last good thing that I had when they died.
What do you mean? What? Speaking in half truths, you're not telling me the whole story.
It's sooner than you think. You promise that when I ask, you will do what needs to be done to prevent this.
I promise.
Until we meet again.
Vox, you are sitting back at the table in front of Uru. Everyone is staring at you. You've been out for a few minutes now. Uru takes a deep breath, and you see they are far more the old man that they were when this day began than they were at any other point during the celebration.
That's quite enough for me, I think.
Did you see all of that? Was that you in my head?
Why? I don't mean to pry, Cher. I just showed you who watches you through that sword.
Look, I think I've had enough of this game, and Vox is gonna hand him back only 160 gold.
Here's all your money back.
Very kind. Yeah, if you'll excuse me, I'll leave the rest
No,
of this
if you excuse
celebration
me. Vox gets up first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she takes a whole thing of the moonshine with her.
Yeah.
Fucking destroy me, why don't you?
Vox, we're gonna.
I like that half the party's just wandering around in the dark outside.
Yeah, Vox, you wander off into the dark as well. We are cutting back to Fauna and Cletus.
My favorite part of emotional scenes is just seeing June cry. It's so touching. Okay, sorry. Cletus. What was I going to talk to Cletus about? Oh yeah. I just thought that maybe we should talk about what happened.
Yeah, I mean, which happening are we talking about? Are we talking about my thing where I went straight off the reservation and caught flame and then was born? I mean, Atticus told me I don't really remember it myself. I remember, I feel like I did a lot of jumping or something. When I came to, my legs were powerful sore.
Yeah, that might be my bad. I sort of turned you into a grasshopper.
Well,
but I was only trying to protect you.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's my favorite
It
insect.
didn't really
so.
work though. But yeah, I mean, I know I have a weird thing too, but I did mean that, we would talk about your thing.
Right, yeah.
If you want to talk about my thing, we can, but I don't really know anything about it except that I ran off and some stuff happened. But this isn't about me. I think I might be able to help you.
Cletus draws in a little closer to you, Fauna, and as you are standing here, you're a ways away from the music, but you can hear kind of drifting in. They're still going at it, and there is a slower number that starts, and Cletus offers his hand to you.
You think you can help me?
Yeah, with, your whole thing. I mean, curse breaking is apparently my specialty.
I mean, you're welcome to try. You might, when they do this, it's kind of one of my favorites. If one last dance before the celebration's over.
Yeah, of course.
Cletus is going to take you in his arms and begins to, at a much slower pace, kind of here on the outskirts of the camp, now lit just by the night sky above. Begins to dance in a step familiar to him enough that he can guide you through it. Fauna, do you have your curse break as your ritual right now?
I do, and as my other ritual, I have Death Ward.
Okay. There's a particular thing going on here with Cletus's curse. I'm going to have you do two things for. I want you to you're going to make two separate checks, and this first one is going to be an Arcana check just to see if, like, you are trying to enact that curse breaking power. Like, this is not the first time that you've been in close contact with Cletus tonight, but now you are you have to make a decision to do it. So give me an Arcana check to see if you can figure out what his whole deal is.
Okay, that's 21.
On a 21. You feel or rather, you don't feel, you see those black wings wrapped around them. Clearly underneath the star as if they were there all the time. You feel a connection. Cletus's very life force now is allowed or tethered to an incredibly powerful entity. One that the fell spirit was one thing, this is something else. And even here in the Unbroken Green, a place where you think this power might not be welcome, its tether to Cletus is strong. I'll give you the practical information on that too. What Uru sensed was that if this connection to Arcane was broken, Cletus would go back to the state that he was in before Arcane found him. Cletus would go back to being dead. Because he did die at the sacking of St. Florin. He was struck down by the Mirrored Knight. This is your wheelhouse. This is what you do. And in this moment, I'm going to allow you the opportunity, if you want to roll. These will essentially be what will function as death saving throws. I'm adding the death ward magic into it, that's sort of null and void and just will carry over into this special circumstance. You're going to roll 3 Arcana checks as if they were death saving throws. The DC for these is going to be, you have to get a 15 or higher on the check. If you make, the first thing that happens is 3 unsuccessful checks, it will cost Cletus his life. If the first 3 checks that you are successful, same way as death saving throws, you can break this curse on Cletus. You can break this Geish spell. He will not be at the beck and command. Basically, you can either free Cletus or this will kill him. But I'm going to say that even though it is not dusk anymore, the magic that lingers in this place, you can make these Arcana checks at advantage if you choose to make them. You would just need to get a 15 or higher 3 times before you fail.
I don't think I would do it without trying to convey to Cletus in some way that was the situation. You know what I mean? Not like the Arcana check thing, but that I don't know. I think I can do this, but there's a chance it could go wrong. So if you don't want to, it's okay.
Fauna, I set out on this whole thing to help Atticus. And along the way, I found you. And I mean, far be it from me to question the gods, but it feels like a poetic sense of justice to have you be the one that ensures I'm there for Atticus when he needs me most. We don't have to worry about any of this nasty bird business. Fucking up my heroics.
We wouldn't want that.
No. I trust you. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be with y'all and endanger you if I want to be free.
I know you trust me. I'm not sure that I trust myself. But I'm not sure what other option there is. I mean, even if we win down the line, something still might happen to you because of it.
Well, then when it does, we'll figure it out. Step by step, you know. I don't ever really think that far ahead.
I am now.
Cletus is going to stop holding both your hands, looking at you, Fauna. Once you start this process, it cannot be stopped until you either succeed or fail. In this moment, are you going to go for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, so I have to get 3 in a row.
You don't have to get 3 in a row. It's just like death saving throws. So it's the first 3 that has. So like you could be stacked 2 and 2, and then it would come down to the. But it is, you get to roll your Arcana checks with advantage, and you're trying to hit a DC of 15 or above. Anything less than a 15 is on an Arcana check is a failure.
Can she abandon it partway through?
No. Once you start, it's going all the way through.
Should I do it, guys? I'm doing it. Okay. All right.
Okay. First check with advantage.
Okay, okay, well I don't think I need the advantage on that one because it was 20. Not nat 20.
Okay.
On the first one.
Well, I mean, you could roll too to see if you get a nat 20, because if you get a nat 20, if this is a death saving throw scenario, if you get a nat 20, you just succeed.
That just is okay.
It's like, yeah, because.
Okay, I didn't get a nat 20
Okay,
that time.
but that's one success.
Okay, that's a. Okay, that was also a 20 on the first roll, 23 on the second roll.
2 successes.
I have pretty high Arcana.
Yeah.
Well,
And
Arcana,
I knew you
or
did.
I probably wouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
And let's see, that is a 24.
Fauna.
Oh.
Yeah. You tell me what this looks like as you
They're,
fully banish
like,
this nasty bird.
They're like, I feel like they're kind of still like slow dancing. But Fauna just like rests her hands on Cletus's chest and like focuses all of her power, and she just like slips her hands up underneath the wings that are like folded over his shoulders, and just like as if she was like slipping a cloak off of his shoulders, just like pushes it off and like lets it fall to the ground.
As this happens, Cletus takes in a breath almost of shock. And Fauna, you see beyond a veil into the arcane energy that moves in the Unbroken Green, and you see that same magic flowing up from the Unbroken Green into Cletus as he takes a breath, and his life is now upheld and tied to the fate of this place. This last vestige between the darkness and his home. As you see this flow into him, he
should be dead. But here I am. I think, well, I guess this won't be our last dance after all.
Better not be.
Cletus is going to lean in close to your ear, Fauna.
Every new day I get with you is a gift. Thank you.
I couldn't let anything happen to you.
And Cletus is going to go in to kiss you.
And Fauna, of course, kisses him back.
Yeah.
That would be a big move if she was like, no, not right now.
Is there anything before the hoedown ends in this? Is there anything else that anyone wants to do?
Just really quick.
Cletus. No, I'm just kidding.
Parents just lurking in the shadows watching. Just really
Son
quick.
of also wants a kiss from Cletus.
Why I oughta.
As she was doing this, she kind of, I know it's not really tangible, but she kind of plucks a feather from this entity, this bird cloak.
Ooh, yeah.
And puts it in one of her magic bottles that she keeps all of her
yes.
herbs and stuff in.
Yes, you do. I love it. That is
That's all.
the thing that a witch would
and
do.
then the kissing. And then
and then the kissing. As you tuck
Lots
that
of
little
kissing.
bottle.
I think there might be tongue even.
Yeah, okay. We cut from that over. Is anyone else doing anything before the end of the hoedown?
I have a last thing.
Yeah.
I think other than when he's poking in and out of some of these activities, you're just mostly trying to follow Bird around. He's doing observations and occasionally writing notes down.
Yeah.
Just in preparation.
Okay. Cool. Getting the ritual ready. Vox, you're kind of off, I guess, spending kind of the rest of the hoedown alone with your thoughts.
Found the biggest haystack and climbed to the top of it.
Vox is actually very much drinking, and I think at this point she would have pulled out Brightburn just in the middle of nowhere, on her knees with Brightburn.
Anyone who looks out would see a faint and distant light, a lot like a star, but on the ground. I guess you're climbing up to the largest hay bale you can find. You see that kind of old and bowed over, you do see Uru up there at the top of the same highest haystack. He looks over at you.
Been a good celebration. Haven't gotten one like that in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a tent to jump through like you used to, there's one right there, there's one right there. Really send this party off. Atticus chuckles and he's like, "You're not going to be around much longer, are you?"
Just long enough to see you win this thing. You got a lot riding on you, old man.
Yeah, it's weird. The closer I get, you've known me for a long time. I've known you for longer, probably. Considering you were just a little baby when I first saw you.
You remember old Flappy too.
That is my favorite story of you of all time. You wrestled this thing and then it was your pet. It was great.
I think maybe before the end of this, we get you a better story than that.
I mean, there are countless. That's the oddball story, but I feel like for a long time I just was kind of like this book that never, ceased to stop being written, like it's just, it was never ending. It was just one after the other. But the closer I get to home, the more I feel like we're in like the epilogue, for me at least.
Well,
hopefully it's a good ending.
I don't know if it'll be your end, Ekose. But if it is, I'll see you there.
And Uruk's going to jump off the top of the haystack and through, it absolutely demolishes the tent that's about 30 feet below, and upon hitting the ground is asleep.
I feel like the hill giants for sure deliberately set up a high object with decoy tents around it that nobody actually sleeps in.
Yeah, for sure. You see quickly a hill giant comes over and tucks him in a little bit.
Yeah, Atticus just kind of sits up there and looks off into the distance. Probably sees that little light from Vox, doesn't know what it is, but sees it out yonder, and then just kind of stares to the direction of Phoenix Manor, kind of twiddling his thumbs in stoic mode.
And it is in that distance that you continue to look for the next 2 days, Atticus, as the party and the House of Legrand and everyone else in the camp makes their way across the Unbroken Green. And on the morning of the third day, as light begins to break across the Unbroken Green, you see it. For the first time in decades for you. You see the House of Phoenix perched on the edge of the Unbroken Green, the other watchtower over this sacred expanse, the last of its kind in Nimira. And as the party is approaching this place, this is the end of our session. We're ending it here, arriving at Phoenix Manor, but I do need everyone but Atticus to remove their headphones.
Bye-bye.
And also mute the stream. if you have it going. Atticus, you have your family home in your sights. And as you take that first step kind of off the Unbroken Green and onto the property itself, Phoenix Manor is a sprawling, there are outbuildings here and all kinds other than the main manor itself. So taking a step off the Unbroken Green onto your land, you've still got a good 20-minute walk to get to the main manor. As you take that step off the Unbroken Green, sulfurous and acrid, a familiar smell envelops you immediately. And just over your shoulder, you hear a familiar voice.
Welcome home, Atticus.
Been a long time. Even you can't ruin my spirits right now.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Speaking of homes, I know where you live.
Figured it out, did you?
Please don't compliment me. I saw it in a vision.
Well, vision or not, I am impressed that you've made it this far. You really are your mother's son.
Could be caring as my mother, but I've learned I can also be as ruthless as my father.
Ruthless. Yes. Tell me, Atticus, in all your courage and strength, what would you do for your beloved child?
You knew this whole time, huh? Dangled it over my head.
I won't pretend with you, Atticus. It's news to me as well. Let's both just put our cards on the table. In death, there is no warmth and light, but I am endless flame, and I offer that gift to Atlas now. What does it even mean to be a hero when you had to watch your boy's body burn in your hands?
What do you expect from me in return?
Renew the pact of old, and I will give your boy life again. A body, his own, his soul returned. No rot, no tricks. All I need in exchange are the lives of the party that you travel with. A paltry bargain for one's own flesh and blood.
What life am I leaving my son if I let you live? No. I think you know how this has to go.
Atticus.
I think you know.
Yeah.
If we're laying all our cards on the table, only one of us is going to be able to pick up the whole deck.
Atticus, in this moment, no check. The bargain that is offered you, you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, was the same bargain offered to your father. But you know his choice. And his choice gave you your life, removed the Phoenix Rod. But it also took from you your mother.
So, it's war then.
Arcane, it's been war since the day I reignited into life. I just didn't know it back then.
Well, the presence fades. You're looking at Phoenix Manor and the war party that you have gathered there. Atticus, everyone can go ahead and put their headphones back on. God, it's so hard to tell people. Yes. It's so hard to tell people that they can put their headphones back on when their headphones aren't on. How do you do it?
Watching
How do you
facial
Oh, I
expressions
guess the chat.
and not being able to hear what was going on is so stressful.
I know.
I like how Eli, you're like, there's no possible way to communicate.
You're sly, Fauna. You're sly.
What? I am? Oh, in the chat, you mean?
Okay.
So here's the deal, y'all.
Yeah.
There's some big decisions that were just made. I'm sorry.
Is this Atticus or Sean?
Yeah.
There was a very big decision made, and anyone who goes back and watches the stream will certainly find out what that was. But that is the end of our session. We're ending it. Next session will be at Phoenix Manor, which we've been waiting a long time to get here. So
the stress continues.
Thanks to everyone for tuning in. We'll see you all next week with another session of Castle Run.
Bye, love.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.